Hello and welcome, my fellow nerds, back to Nerd In, or if you're brand new here, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Christian, and I'll be your host this evening for Totally Bored, and tonight, we got some more numbers to dig into for the month of April. Let's get into some stats. So, fair warning, this might be a little bit of a longer video again, because April was a pretty busy month for me, and it was also my birthday, so some exciting stuff happened there, and we're just going to jump right into the new-to-me games this month, starting with the new games to my collection. Now, all the games that I'm about to show you are not necessarily added to my collection. Some of them are my dad's as well, but I'm showcasing them because I have them in person, and why not, right? So, the big one that got added to my personal collection this month was actually Honey Buzz Fall Flavors, the expansion for base game Honey Buzz. This expansion adds in 5 new modules to the base Honey Buzz that you can mix and match and be able to create a ton of variability with just the base game as it is. I didn't really have a problem with the base game's replayability, but this takes any issues that there might have been present with it and just completely fixed all of them. I will do a review on this at some point. I don't know how soon it's going to be coming. I've only played this a couple of times so far, but I plan to get through all of the modules, testing all of them out, and seeing what I think of each one individually, and then I'm going to start mixing and matching and going from there. But there is going to be so much for me to explore with this. I love playing it solo so far. I plan to get it to at least 2 players, maybe 3 at some point, and have a blast with it. But Fall Flavors, absolutely fantastic so far. That was the big one to my collection. The other one that I got at the same time, because that was a birthday gift, this was also a birthday gift, is Mint Control. This is the first of the Mint games that we actually ended up picking up between me and my dad. And it's not the best one of the bunch, but it is still fun. It's intriguing. It doesn't really play great at 2 players. It definitely kind of drags out and takes a little bit longer than it should. But I'm excited to try it at 3 players and see how it goes. Just a nice little pocket game. It does have a solo mode, which I haven't tried yet. I'm going to at some point. But the Mint games are really cool, and this being an introduction into the Mint games in general is honestly just kind of neat. I was okay with this. I like it. And I had it on my radar anyways because I was going to buy this with Fall Flavors, and then I got them as a gift, and I was like, well, I don't need to buy them, so that works out perfect. But very happy to have that one. So those are the 2 games that got added to my personal collection this month. I also added this playmat here. This is a Feltector's playmat. Not sponsored at all. I just got the 35 by 35. It works perfect for my table for being able to play about 3 players, and I quite enjoy it. So I'm going to be getting a lot of use out of this. You'll be seeing it a lot more in the videos. So just in case you're wondering why that's there all of a sudden, I did get that this month. Also, as a birthday gift via a gift card. But I very much enjoy it. It feels great. Again, not a sponsor. Just love the playmat. So back to the actual games. Again, these are not games that got added to my collection, but they are games that I have access to play quite regularly, and there are other games I'm going to talk about as well. Obviously, all of these are new to me, and I did get to play all of them this month, which is quite fantastic. So next up, we might as well finish off the Mint games here. We also got Mint Cooperative, which is a little cooperative game where you're trying to save Mintopia from panic. We've only played against one person so far. We lost our first attempt and nailed our second one. We got a lot of things wrong on the first go, and it really kind of screwed us over. So Mint Co-op is a nice little fun time if you want to be a minty fresh hero. There's some fun stuff in there. Another great little pocket game. Also has a solo mode, which is quite nice. And my favorite one of the 3 is Mintworks. This is literally just a pocket worker placement game. I could not have asked for anything better. I might even have to pick up a copy of this at some point for myself, because again, this is my dad's copy. But Mintworks is a fantastic game. There's at least one more in the Mint universe, and it's Mint Delivery. There might be one more on top of that, but I think there's only 4. Anyways, all 3 of these games have been fantastic, but I think by far Mintworks is my favorite. Co-op would probably be second, and Control is my third favorite. None of them are bad by any means. They're all a good time, and again, just nice to have as little pocket games to be able to take and go with you. More content on that soon, though. And lastly here, we have Final Girl, The Merrick Murders. I didn't get the whole Series 3 box, so I didn't even get this one. My dad actually got this, and we weren't expecting it until May. So when it showed up that early, we were very happy about it. He doesn't actually own the core box for Final Girl, but he got it because he wants to get into it, and he knows that I was going to love this one. Like, I told him flat out, it's based on Saw, it's one of my favorite franchises ever, and I really wanted to play it. So he got it, kind of for the both of us, more so probably for me, because I'm going to play it more often than he will, give or take. He doesn't do a whole lot of solo games, but I absolutely love it. So I did get to play this one a couple of times. I got stomped at it, but I just need to get it figured out. I mean, I'm not really all that good at Final Girl to begin with. My die rolls are awful, but I still love it, and it's a great time. And it got me to playing Final Girl again, which reminds me, there is actually one other thing that I did get this month that is not a game, but it is game-related. Let me grab that. So before I actually got this playmat, the Felt Hectors, I also, at the same time as Honeybuzz, was gifted the Final Girl Series 2 playmat, another thing that I requested because, well, I wanted an easier way to play Final Girl. This helps me keep track of things so much easier. And I didn't realize how imperative it was for the game. It helps out so freaking much. And so it's actually two playmats, one for your character, one for the location of the killer. Very handy to have. There is a Series 3 extension that I'm probably going to get at some point. Not anytime soon, though. You're going to see a lot less new games coming to my collection for a little while. I'm trying to kind of save some money for a little bit and not spend as much. So that might slow down a bit, but I do still have games coming in this year already, so there is still going to be new stuff to talk about over time, but yeah, having these playmats is just fantastic. I absolutely love them. They're great quality, and again, I'll probably pick up the Series 3 extension playmat at some point, because that does look very handy. So, Final Girl, fantastic. Been loving that. So, that's all of the new games this month, at least that I have in person. There are other games that I'll be talking about that are new to me. I actually had, 17 new to me games this month. There's a couple on here that I just hadn't logged before. Like, I played them before I started actually logging my stats, so there are a couple in there. So it's like 14 actual new to me games, I think, and then 3 that just were never entered in until now. So we'll go ahead and go through the rest of the new to me games. On top of all of these, like I said, I did play all 5 of those games that I just showed you. Outside of that, I also got to play Arboretum. That is a new game to my dad's collection as well. Nice little card game. I actually quite enjoy it. I think it's very neat and intricate in the way that it plays, and it really is, it's a brain burner. It does make you think quite a bit, and it's very indirect player interaction, but it is still player interaction in a way, knowing what you need to be able to do on a given turn. And I quite like it. It's very neat. We've played that twice now. I also finally played Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza for the first time this month. I've had it forever. My wife and brother love playing it together. I've never joined in on it because it just seemed too slapstick and silly to me, but I'm like, you know what, I'll give it a try, and it's not bad. I don't mind it. It's nothing crazy. It's a neat time. You know, it'll kill like 5 minutes for you, or if you just play it back to back to back to back, you can kill like half an hour with it. It's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. I have nothing to say on it. After that is 5 Minute Mystery. My dad picked that one up. It's just a very quick, not even deduction game. It's kind of like I can't even say hide and seek, but like you just have to look through these pictures to find these symbols. So so it does end up being a deduction game, but the core of it is that you're spending most of your time looking for these symbols to line up this codex to be able to give you a clue as to who committed the crime. And it's stuff like, is this person, or is the culprit wearing glasses? And if it says no, then like you eliminate all the characters out of your hand that have glasses, and you just kind of narrow it down. So it is kind of deduction, but the majority of it is just trying to hunt through these pictures for these symbols. It's a cool game. It is definitely very quick. It puts you on a timer, so you really have to be fast about it, but I think it's quite neat. It's a good little filler game, and it's got its place. After that is Salton Sea, another purchase from my dad. And this game is actually like, it's a smaller box than Fall Flavors, but it packs in such a big experience. I think we spent like 4 hours playing it because, well, we were kind of learning it as we went. We knew a good chunk of the game, but there was a lot of stuff we were referencing the rulebook for. And but once we got the hang of it, it was super easy. As I shouldn't say super easy, it was still very thinky. But like once you get the mechanisms down, like it's not hard to understand what's going on. It's just a matter of, after that point, figuring out how to make those things work out for you in the best way possible, and that's the challenge of it. But very good game. I love Salton Sea, and we played that actually a couple of days after we played Nucleum, which is also labeled as a new to me game on here because that is a game that I played before I started logging my stats. But I had only ever played it solo before, so getting to play it at 2 players was quite exciting. So Nucleum and Salton Sea are like 2 of my dad's favorite games now. It's those 2 and Ostia are like his top 3 is what he told me. And I can't say that they're bad picks at all. They're all great. I love Nucleum. I'm very glad that I got to play it with someone else. The Automa is all right. It's a little bit much to manage sometimes. So like trying to do your turn and the Automa can get a little bit distracting until you really, really get the flow of it. I think I would have to play it a couple more times to be able to get there. But yeah, both of those games were really good, really brain burnery, and well, they are high complexity. But again, the nice thing is like once you get into some of those games, they just start making a lot more sense, and you can get into actually playing and strategizing, and it makes it a lot more fun and engaging once you get past those initial hurdles. But sometimes that is the hard part, is getting past the initial hurdles. So got to play Nucleum. That was great. River of Gold is another game that got added to my dad's collection. That was like right at the start of the month. We got to play a game, and it was quite fantastic. We're planning on doing a 3-player one here soon to see how that is, but 2 players feels great. I kind of wish it had a solo mode. I understand why it doesn't. It's definitely not an easy game to design one for, but I've seen it described this way several times, and I definitely agree with it. River of Gold is kind of like a modern Monopoly. It's what Monopoly should have been. It's, you know, you got the roll and move, you've got the markets, and it's just, everything about it feels so good, but also like reminiscent. Like you can tell that there's bones of Monopoly in there, but it's in such a good way that it does not feel bad at all. I absolutely love River of Gold. I also got to play Command of Nature for the first time this month. I played that with my brother, just a little one-on-one. That game is quite interesting. It's an unstable games game, but it's their most complex one that I've played so far. Probably not their most complex overall, but at least that I've played, it definitely took a little bit more work and was more of a gamer's game. I think like it kind of felt a little bit like playing a TCG like Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh. Like there's well, maybe not Yu-Gi-Oh. I won't make that comparison, but it's just that it's this very back and forth card game that's got a lot of stuff going on. There are some bits and tokens to it which are kind of nice. It was an oddly long game for what it was, but I still think it was quite satisfying. My brother doesn't care for how long it is. I don't blame him for that. That's fine. I thought it was cool. I enjoyed it. I like those kind of games. You know, like I'm not the biggest fan of card games in general, but like head-to-head combat card games, I can enjoy from time to time. It does depend on how they, you know, deliver it, and I think Command of Nature delivered it just fine. Also Blitzkrieg, World War II in 20 minutes. My dad got that one as well. We've played that a couple of times now. Actually, a pretty good game. I do have to give it credit. I love Paolo Mori for the most part. I think he did a really good job designing that game. We do have Caesar on our radar as well, but Blitzkrieg is going to fill that spot pretty good for right now. And we think there's enough differences between the 2 games that there's reason to have both and play both, but they're just easy games, good fillers, but they still offer a good amount of strategy, which feels nice. And second to last here is Boop the Halls. I got to play that one. I mean, it's not too different from the normal Boop. You get a 3D board this time, so you get like 3 layers to make your Christmas tree, and then you add in ornaments is the big change to it. So if your ornament ever gets bumped off by your opponent, you lose. I think it's a neat game. I mean, I don't think it's really that much more exciting than just base Boop, but it does offer you a little bit more to think about while you're playing, which is kind of cool. I don't have anything against it. I think it's fine. I wouldn't own it myself personally. I'm not a huge fan of the Christmas theme, but if it gets busted out, I'll play a game or 2. Yeah, that's fine. And lastly, for new to me games is Seaside, and the reason I saved this one for last is because this is my most played game of this month. Just a little push your luck bag puller, and it's a fantastic time. It plays great at 2 players. Haven't done it any higher than that yet. My dad definitely put an emphasis on getting more pocket-sized, travel-sized games so that we can, you know, just get a lot more games in, because he loves gaming all the time. Like, I have really sucked him into this hobby, and He just likes playing games as much as possible, and I can't complain about it. I just like the bigger games, but I will still play the pocket games, no problem. Um, Obviously, I think if either of us have our pick, we would take the bigger games, but there's a lot of situations where we can only squeeze in these small ones, so we make do with those and get as much joy out of those as we can. And then on days where we have more time, we bust out the big boys and we go all in on it. So I absolutely love that. So talking about actual numbers now, my stats here, I have 3 5s and 1 dime for plays this month. Let me give you the overall numbers first before I get ahead of myself. So I had 88 plays across 39 different games. Again, 17 are new to me, more like 14, I think it was. And I played 25 days out of the month. There's only 6 days that I did not play any games, and most of those were weekends where I was just busy and had stuff going on, I think. So quite a bit of playtime in this month. I was very happy about that. For my 1 dime, it is Seaside at 11 plays. I didn't think we had played it that much until this morning when I went and looked at the stats. I was like, oh, yeah, we played a lot of Seaside. Second place is Deducto, back with another 9 plays. He really wanted to keep those stats up this month. I don't know why. Just because I brought it up in the last video, I guess, and he thought it would be fun to keep it high up there in numbers. So we got 9 plays of that. Again, usually when we play Deducto, it's a best 2 out of 3, and we pretty much get 3 games every time. So essentially that's 3 sessions of Deducto, about 15 minutes apiece, but it's still a great time. I love Deducto. I could rave on about that for like ever. I honestly think that's probably the only board game at this point, or well, game in general, that I have like actually mastered. I feel like I have pretty much perfected Deducto, and unless I'm having a really off day, I'm gonna do pretty good at it. I'm not trying to brag. I just like, out of all the games, I didn't expect it to be Deducto, but I'm hoping to work on that with some other games too. Right after that is Solstice at 8 plays. That was a game that my dad got last month. We've played that together 8 times. I still think it's an alright game. It's nothing like crazy or super crunchy, but it is challenging, and I suck at it. Just plain and simple, I am terrible at like spatial recognition. And so it kind of hurts a little bit, but you know, it is what it is. After that is Tinderblocks at 6 plays. That's kind of another one of those games we just do back to back to back because it's just so quick and easy to play. Takes like no effort at all, but it's great for 2 people and just being able to bounce through it in like no time at all. So that's all my 5s and dimes. I'll just go through some of my notable games after that. I did get to play Scythe 3 times this month. 2 of those were solo, and then 1 I got to play with my dad. It was his first time playing Scythe. I got to teach him how to play it, and yeah, unfortunately, he stomped me. It was like 63 to 18, I think. I did really bad. I was definitely, I will agree with him that I was a little more focused on making sure that he was understanding the game and, you know, offering advice here and there. I was a little more focused on him than I was myself, and I was not playing optimally. And I think in retrospect, there is a chance that he might have had one of the banned interactions between the faction and the player mat. So there was a lot going wrong in that whole scenario, but I just wanted to make sure that he at least had the core concept of the game down, because I do plan on expanding that one to the max at some point in time. So that's like my next goal, is to expand Scythe. So making sure that he has the core concept of the game, we can play it a couple of more times at just base so that he can really get the hang of it and, you know, take him off the training wheels, was worth it enough to me. I don't mind getting absolutely destroyed that game. I definitely could have done worse, so I will accept it. But Scythe was notable to me. I got to play it 3 times. That felt great to me. I got to bust out Lacuna again. I played that a total of 3 times. I think I played 1 game with my wife and then 2 with my dad. That's another one of those games that's just so easy. You just put the pieces back in, shake them out again, and, you know, play your next game right away. It doesn't always work out that happens, that's the case with Lacuna, because sometimes you're just like, you just want a quick little game that doesn't really take too much thinking before you move on to the next thing, give your mind a little rest. So that's usually what it's used for, is just having that in-between game. If I'm just playing it 2 people, it's perfect for that, and it's honestly a fantastic game to play. Also got 2 plays of Ostia in this month, another one solo, and then another one with my dad. Again, he adores this game, and it's been a great time. I actually got my high score on the game with my dad. I scored 325. That is the highest score I've ever achieved in this game. And he wasn't even that far behind. He got a 291. It was a very high-scoring game. We kind of pushed the end-game conditions as long as we could so that we could just, you know, ramp up a lot of points. We kind of did it intentionally, but it still felt good to be able to score that many points. It was... Especially when you're using the Roxleys and you get to pull out 3 of those 100 coins. It's so satisfying. I did get to play Kelp again. Kelp was another great time. Now, Kelp, that game that we played, that was down, like, literally what I described in my review video. If you haven't seen that yet, link up in the card up there. Go check that out. But that game literally went down to the wire. We got down to the, I think it was the last 2. Yeah, we had 2 of the counter cards left. And it pretty, like, he had 1 space left on his hunger track, so if he failed that encounter, he lost the game. If I failed that encounter, I lost the game. And it literally came down to that, and I'm not even going to tell you the result, because the intensity of it, of just knowing that either one of us was going to lose that game depending on that card flip, that was such a good moment. It was so intense, and I think when the encounter started and we realized that that was the end of game no matter what, we had to go take a minute. We had to go take a breather before we came back to actually determine who won. And it was such an exciting time. I love Kelp, and I've been really happy that we got that moment because that was just so intense. I got to bust out the Night Cage again. That's another one I actually got to play it cooperatively. I have done it before, but I got to introduce it to my dad as well. It's a decent game. It has its place. It's not like the most amazing thing ever, but I also haven't delved into the advanced modes yet because I've only ever taught new people, and I don't want to do that solo. I don't want to go into the advanced mode solo. That just sounds like too much. I want somebody else to suffer through that with me. So I gotta get people taught on the base game, on the standard version, before I can move them up, but I haven't had anybody get to that second game yet, so hopefully I can do that eventually. I don't think there's really anything else of note here. I got in some good games this month, though. I did play 3 games of Trailblazers. I finally beat my next challenge on there. It was the Loop Junkie challenge is the one that I finally beat for solo. That one is not easy. And now I have another one coming up that's also really not easy. That game is so tough, but I think I'm starting to finally figure it out a little bit. Some things are starting to make more sense and be cohesive. It is just so tough, though. It is such a little thinky game that is so... There's a review coming on that soon. Don't worry. I won't get too into detail there. But anyways, guys, that's all I have for my stats video today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Again, this is kind of a posterity piece for myself to be able to look back on, know what I played when and what I got when, and just, you know, have like it's kind of like a video scrapbook for me in a way. So, or a video diary, I guess. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoy the content, as always, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Normal videos coming out next week. You'll have another review, and you'll be all set and good to go. But anyways, again, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you all the next time. As always, here on Nerd In, we hope you enjoy your stay. Peace out.